Hey guys, TGKS Productions. For this GTN video, I have a buy and customization review for the Declasse Draugur. This is the second vehicle released as drip-fed content from the Criminal Enterprise DLC. If you want to purchase this vehicle, you're going to want to head over to southernsanandreassuperautos.com. It retails for almost $1.9 million. However, there is a trade price that you can unlock for this vehicle, and that is by completing 10 KO Perico races. When I'm currently making this video, this is a featured series you can join, or you can even find these races in the pause menu under Rockstar created races. And lastly, there is a limited clothing item you can unlock if you purchase this vehicle between August 11th and August 17th, and that is the gray Yeti flat cap. In any case, let's go ahead and purchase this vehicle right now. This vehicle is based off of the Chevrolet off-road concept, nicknamed the Beast, and it's also, as far as the in-game vehicle, is the first in the off-road class to be based off of a concept, which is pretty cool. So first off, let's use the remote functions here, see what we can utilize, and we can open up all four doors. This is a four-seater, so you can haul around your friends, and also the trunk and the hood. We have a pretty detailed engine here. Fun fact, the real-life version of this vehicle has a 6.2-liter engine in it, which is the same that's in the Chevrolet Corvette C8, and in-game that would be the Coquette D10, at least the power of that engine, not necessarily the look of it. And we also have the trunk feature in the back. The back looks very similar to something like you see on the trophy truck or the Desert Raid. However, I don't believe those vehicles have the trunk remote feature where this vehicle does, so that's cool. In regards to the interior, it is fairly detailed. I can't say it's 100% unique, so don't quote me on that. But as far as the rest of what you see in the interior, especially like the steering wheel and the seats, it almost seems like Rockstar added stock in this vehicle, what you can add to other vehicles through the mod shop. For example, the steering wheel that you see here is a customization option you can add to tuner vehicles, and I believe also some Benny's vehicles, and even the seats also. So it almost just seems like instead of adding like modification options that you can add this vehicle, they just come stock in the vehicle. For the lighting details, the top light on the roof turns on as soon as you enter the vehicle. However, the lights around the grille turn on all at once, except the bottom lights turn brighter when you turn on the high beams. And there are only the tail lights and brake lights. There are no reverse lights. And that's pretty much it for the first look. Let's go ahead and check out the customization for this vehicle.
What can we do to it? Anything I can do?
So as I did with the Benefactor SM722 video, I am not going to necessarily talk for the entirety of the customization. However, I will highlight a few things that stood out to me, and we'll have them timestamped in the description if you want to just check out the highlights as opposed to the full customization.
If you can think it, I can do it.
Not necessarily customization here, but if we look at the back of the vehicle, it's really cool to see that the hole or space in the trunk here goes all the way to the front, just like the real life version of this vehicle. So I love the attention to detail by Rockstar here. Let's go ahead and continue with the customization. The door customization we have to this vehicle is definitely a little bit more unique. The only other vehicle I can compare it to would be the Canis Camacho that also has some similar customization in regards to the doors, but definitely not as many door customization options that you see with this vehicle. Not necessarily unique to the vehicle, because I've definitely seen exhaust options similar to this with some other vehicles, but it is interesting the extreme difference in some exhausts we have here. We start off with some smaller ones on the side here, and then we go to a much larger one, and then one that runs up the entirety of the vehicle. So I thought that was pretty interesting there.
about a novelty horn? I've got that installed for you. Making decisions is stressful. Life is hard when you can have anything.
We have two respray options, a primary color and secondary color. The primary color covers most of the exterior of the vehicle. It almost seems to slightly affect what you can, I guess, classify as the upper framework of the vehicle, the material around the windshield, doors, and like trunk area where those tires are at. However, as we'll see with the secondary color, that is what controls the color of that, again, upper framework or the material around the windshield, doors. It even goes in the interior of the vehicle as well as part of the trunk or back of the vehicle. We also have seat customization to this vehicle, which is pretty cool because I want to say most vehicles, unless they're like tuner vehicles or Benny's vehicles, don't have seat customization. The street seats definitely stood out to me as ones I'm not used to seeing. Most of these other ones I believe I've seen with tuner vehicles or Benny's vehicles, but just figured I'd highlight that.
If you can think it, I can do it.
As a note for the snorkel features, they don't actually appear to work and allow the vehicle to stay underwater longer. They're really purely just cosmetic. We have some pretty interesting spoiler options here that, again, don't really remind me of anything I've seen on other vehicles GT Online. I could be wrong, but again, just figured I'd highlight that.
Do you need a drink? Bubbles or something?
We have some cool trunk customization options here, which, as I stated earlier, the trunk seems a little bit similar to stuff you see on like the Desert Raid or the Trophy truck. However, you can't change the customization on that vehicle for the trunk, but you can on this, so that is cool.
Whatever you desire. Technology and budget permitting.
And lastly, for the tires on this vehicle, they do appear to be unique, as in you will not be able to add these tires to any other vehicle if you were to take them to the mod shop.
Those things are almost indestructible.
Here's my personal Declasse Draugur. I didn't change all that much. I added, for my primary color, matte olive drab, secondary color, matte black. For the other modifications, I added mesh tube doors. I thought they looked most similar to the real life version of this vehicle, although definitely not exact. And then I added performance exhaust. That is everything I added or changed to my personal Declasse Draugur. Moving on to the peak performance part of this video for this vehicle, I want to reference Bruffy1322 as he's arguably one of the best car testers in the community. He has personally ranked this vehicle number 4 in the off-road class for top speed, and he has ranked this vehicle number 1 in the off-road class for lap time. So it looks like the Maxwell Vagrant, which was the previous holder for top lap time in the off-road class, has been dethroned. But I definitely could see this vehicle being number one as far as lap time is concerned in the off-road class. I personally am very comfortable with the handling of this vehicle. I think it handles very nicely. Seems to have very quick acceleration, which can definitely help when you're coming out of turns and give an advantage for lap time. But I highly recommend you checking out Bruffy1322's video on the peak performance of this vehicle, as well as the exact lap time and exact top speed he recorded for this vehicle. I will have his video either at this point in the video or at the end of it. And if you were curious about the off-road capability of this vehicle, I didn't do a ton of testing myself. However, I highlighted a few things that are generally looked at when you're looking at the off-road capability of a vehicle and online. I checked its capability of being in water and definitely handled itself fairly well. Obviously, eventually, if it's submerged for too long, it is eventually going to get destroyed, but it handles itself very well in water. Its climbing capability also is excellent, arguably superior. Its braking is great as well. I know Digital Car Addict made an in-depth video on ranking this off-road vehicle. He has a special testing race that he ranks all of his off-road vehicles in GTA Online. He believes this is superior, and I believe currently the best off-road vehicle in GTA Online for its capability. But I highly recommend you check out his video and how he supports the fact that this is, as of now, the best off-road vehicle in GTA Online based on its capability. And lastly, the review on this vehicle. So first, let's start with the price. Now, the price of this vehicle, at least if we consider the lowest you could possibly purchase it at, which is the trade price, it's a little over $1.4 million. Now, if we compare that to all the other vehicles in the off-road class, at the lowest you could possibly purchase them, which would be their trade price, this makes the Declasse Draugur the second most expensive vehicle in the off-road class after the Maxwell Vagrant. The Maxwell Vagrant is still currently the most expensive vehicle in the off-road class you can purchase. So we've established that this is definitely one of the more expensive vehicles you could purchase in GTA Online in the off-road class. So let's consider some of the other factors. We took a look at the customization. Now, the customization for this vehicle, I definitely don't think it's lacking. Personally, my favorite customization for vehicles in the off-road class would probably be the Canis Camacho and Mammoth Patriot Mil-Spec, mainly because I think there's more options that you can make it more personable to you or more unique from other players of GTA Online with those options. But nonetheless, the Declasse Draugur isn't really lacking in customization. It's not my favorite customization for the off-road class, but there's definitely enough options for you to utilize. And I know this really isn't customization, but this is the first vehicle in-game in the off-road class. It's based off of a concept, so I do think that that's really cool and adds a little bit to its uniqueness. Next, we looked at peak performance. Now, I referenced Bruffy1322 that he ranked this vehicle number 1 in the off-road class for lap time and then number 4 for top speed, which is definitely not bad at all for competitive performance. This is arguably a superior vehicle in the off-road class if you wanted to compete in races. And lastly, we looked at off-road capability for this vehicle. I stated from my experience with this vehicle, it seemed to be superior and handle the off-road terrain excellently. I even referenced Digital Car Addict, who has a race that he runs all these vehicles through specifically to test their off-road capability, and he believes that this vehicle is superior, arguably number 1 for off-road capability in the off-road class. All in all, there's really no one reason to purchase this vehicle, but rather all the reasons to purchase this vehicle. I highly recommend it if you were considering purchasing a vehicle in the off-road class. In any case, guys, that's pretty much everything I have for you in this video regarding the Declasse Draugur. I hope you enjoyed it and found it extremely beneficial. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video, be sure to comment if you have any questions, and have a great day.